People deal with stress in different ways, so don't worry if doing yoga or taking a jog helps de-stress your friends but leaves you feeling more anxious than before. Shape magazine has researched the ways we deal with stress and narrowed it down to 4 main stress personalities. Shape's health editor Sharon Liao is here to help explain them. Sharon, great to see you again.
Good to see you.
So some people say that, yoga class really helps center them and relax them, and other people say just thinking about getting into a downward dog stresses me out. But that's normal.
Absolutely. Well, experts show that there's actually 4 distinct personality types. So something that might work for your friend, like she swears by deep breathing, but when you do it, you just end up feeling frustrated and bored. There's actually a physiological reason for that.
That's reassuring to a lot of people. All right, so there's 4 main stress personalities, correct? We're going to go through them. The first one is the kind of person, I love this, who never feels any anxiety, cool as a cucumber, but then all of a sudden has mystery aches and pains, and maybe that's the stress manifesting itself?
Absolutely. This is one of the most overlooked stress personalities because these people, they don't feel stressed out. Sometimes they can feel a little bit detached, almost like they feel shut down or removed from their emotions. But what's going on is that their nervous system actually is functioning at a really low level. So they might not experience the same freakouts that you or I may experience, but those stress hormones are still pumping through their body, and it manifests in like a headache, backache, stomach ache, all of a sudden.
So what can these stress personalities do? What's an antidote for this?
Well, at Shape, we say one of the best things to do is to keep a mood journal. And I know when people recommend doing a journal, everyone's like, I'm not going to do that. So much effort. That's not the case. It's so easy. Just every day, just jot down how you felt that day and the reason why. You could do it in your day planner. Just, I felt frustrated because my boss said this to me today. And what that does is it helps you realize when pressure is mounting so you can take those steps to really de-stress.
Great advice. Now, the second stress personality that you guys have identified is the one who panics thinking about everything they have to do. Oh my gosh, I think I might have a little bit of this one. You have so many things to do, and that becomes such a source of stress that you sometimes don't get anything done.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the most common ones. We all know someone, if we're not one ourselves, that just freaks out or gets really fried and frazzled when we get stressed out. And what's going on here is that the sympathetic nervous system, which is that part of the nervous system that really triggers that fight or flight reaction that we learned about in school, that goes on overdrive. So your body pumps out all these stress hormones called cortisol, which puts you on alert.
So the stress can actually make you productive.
Yeah, it does.
You're freaking yourself out so that you're getting those cortisones pumping so that you can do your work.
Yeah, it works well in the short term, like, in historic times so you could run away from a tiger or power through a deadline. But over time...
Or stay up and finish your finals in college. That's how I got through college.
Yes, absolutely. You get sort of frazzled and you get it all done. But over time, it can really take a toll on your body. So that's where you need to be careful because it can wear down on your immune system. And also it raises your risk of gaining weight and even over the long term of having heart disease.
So people like that need a healthy dose of slow and steady wins the race, right?
Absolutely. They really need to focus on relaxing. But in this case, things like yoga aren't the best approach for this personality type because you have so much cortisol pumping through your veins. When you try to relax by doing something simple like yoga, you might feel a little frustrated.
Right. So
instead, you should really go for high-intensity workouts like running, kickboxing, even a game of soccer or basketball. That instantly lowers your cortisol levels. Right. And another thing is, because your immune system tends to wear down, you really want to look for things that boost your immune system, like vitamin C and zinc.
Oh, very good advice. All right, now the other kind of stress personality that we all can recognize is the person who has these bursts of energy, but they're short. They don't last very long, and then you quickly burn out.
Absolutely. This is called the dash and crash personality type. And what happens here, it's really interesting. Everyone thinks about the flight or fight response, but there's actually a second part of your nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. And what that does is it turns off that stress response. And with this personality type, the parasympathetic nervous system goes on overdrive. So instead of returning you to that neutral state, you actually become really fatigued. It actually suppresses the brain chemicals called epinephrine and norepinephrine, which help keep you alert. And as a result, you feel really fatigued.
It sounds like it's almost mimicking depression.
Yeah, in a way it is. I mean, it's like you go through a burst of energy and you get everything done, and then maybe for a couple days or even a week afterwards, you just feel totally drained. It's hard for you to get out of bed. It's hard for you to go through your regular routine.
It must be hard for people to be sympathetic, or people around you to be sympathetic. They're like, what's wrong with you? Get out of bed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be really frustrating, but the important thing is to identify that this is your personality type, and you can do easy things to help counteract that loss of brain chemicals like epinephrine. And one of those things is to center every meal and snack around protein, because protein actually has an amino acid in there that in the body turns into those brain chemicals that keep you alert.
So it creates that sort of that slow and steady burning energy that you need.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So go for like yogurts in the morning, eggs, and then, you know, lean meats and proteins in the evenings.
Fantastic. Now, the fourth personality, stress personality you guys identified, is the one who just avoids confrontation altogether because finds it so stressful that they don't want to do anything that could get anyone upset.
Absolutely. Yeah, they avoid confrontation. They feel a little nervous. You know, they don't want to talk to their boss about a problem they're having. And that is people who tend to withdraw from themselves. And the reason why is their body actually doesn't produce enough of that cortisol, that stress hormone that we talked about before, which causes them to feel really nervous and withdraw from society.
And what can they do to counteract that?
Well, one of the important things that they can do is to exercise. Do 30 minutes of gentle exercise like Pilates. And another thing that they should do is when you don't have enough cortisol in your body, surprisingly, it actually causes your body to create inflammation, which can lead you to even burst out in hives or make your allergies worse.
Oh, gosh.
So one of the things that you should do is to make sure that you load up on anti-inflammatory foods. Omega-3 fatty acids are a great source of those. So you really want to go for fish, like salmon, as well as nuts. Even an omega-3 supplement is a good idea for these people.
Fantastic information. Thank you so much, Sharon Liao. This was really interesting. And for more healthy living tips, be sure to check out Shape Magazine and, of course, visit the health page at abcnews.com.